Welcome back to our channel, you guys. It is a beautiful Wednesday, and I am just sitting down with my third cup of coffee to unpack the absolute madness that just went down in Los Angeles. Seriously, grab a snack, maybe a drink, and get comfortable, because we have a massive amount of drama to cover today, and I am honestly a bit tired, but I still care so much about this crazy show. So let's just dive right into the Electra and Will situation, because honestly, it is driving me a little bit crazy. Electra is officially fuming. She is absolutely livid with Will Spencer. And yeah, the official spoilers say she is grappling with his lies and his secrecy. But let's be real here for a second. Did Will actually lie to her? I mean, really? I know I'm probably going to get some hate in the comments for this. Maybe I'm being too harsh, but Will didn't actually lie about anything. He evaded her questions. He dodged. He deflected. And none of her questions were even about the jewelry line in the first place. Technically, Will didn't do a single thing wrong. He was sworn to secrecy by his mother, Katie. All of Electra's questions were basically about the mystery designer over at Logan, which Will explicitly told her he was not allowed to talk about. But now Electra is making this huge, massive deal out of it. And she is acting like Will committed the ultimate betrayal against her and her family. I mean, what is she so worried about? Okay, maybe she is just stressed because her own jewelry line at Forrester Creations is about to have some major competition. We know she is actually mad because Will didn't warn her about Shauna Fulton's new rival jewelry line over at Logan. But does Will really need to report every single business decision his family makes to his girlfriend? That just seems like a lot to ask of a guy who is just trying to do his job and stay loyal to his family. And if we really zoom out and look at the bigger pattern with Electra, her reaction makes a twisted kind of sense. Electra is a Forrester. She carries that name, and with that name comes a massive amount of pressure. She is trying to run this jewelry division. She is trying to prove herself to Steffy and Ridge and Eric, and she feels like she has to be perfect. So when she finds out that her own boyfriend, Will Spencer, was secretly harboring information about a rival jewelry line from Shauna Fulton, and that the hope for the future diamond, the very diamond Electra wanted to use to cement her own legacy, was being given to Hope. It just broke her. It hit every single one of her core insecurities. She feels like Will chose his family's success over her success. And in the cutthroat world of fashion, that is a fatal blow to a relationship. But still, she is asking Will to be something he is not. Will is a Spencer. He was raised by Bill and Katie. Loyalty to the company is literally in his DNA. And his struggles to justify his actions to her are just painful to watch. Will is a good guy. He really, really is. He is trying so hard to balance his love for Electra with his loyalty to Bill and Katie, but Electra's demands and her constant whining are not going to help this relationship survive. I'm just going to say it. The Forrester blood is really starting to show in Electra, that entitlement. That expectation that everyone should just bow down to Forrester Creations and put the Forresters first above all else. It's exhausting. Honestly, I am starting to think that Melissa Dillon would be a much better match for Will. I know, that is a controversial take, but think about it. A relationship with Melissa would be so much less work. It would be fun. It would be easy. Electra just wants a puppet. She wants a guy who will submit to her every single demand and put her above his own family. It is giving very much Steffy Forrester and Finn vibes. You know what I mean. Like how Steffy just expects Finn to drop everything and agree with her worldview all the time, no matter what Sheila or anyone else is doing. Electra is doing the exact same thing to Will. She wants him to be a Forrester lapdog, and Will is a Spencer. And then you have Bill Spencer stepping in. Bill is basically telling Will that he shouldn't feel guilty for doing his job and being loyal to the Spencer family. Bill is all about the business. He told Will that if Electra doesn't understand that this is just business, then she is the problem. And honestly, I kind of agree with Dollar Bill on this one. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. Will was put in an impossible situation. He had to hide the fact that Hope was defecting. He had to hide Shauna's rival jewelry line. He even had to hide the fact that the Hope for the future diamond was being used for Hope's launch. So yeah, it's a mess. A huge, tangled, messy mess. Will is drowning in guilt right now. He is dreading every single interaction with Electra because he knows he held back massive corporate secrets. But again, they are corporate secrets, not personal ones. Will didn't cheat on her. He didn't lie about his feelings. He kept his mouth shut about a fashion launch to protect his mother's company. But Electra is deeply humiliated. She is furiously angry. She feels like Will made a fool out of her, and I get it. I really do. It sucks to find out your boyfriend knew a massive secret that directly impacts your job and didn't tell you. But what was he supposed to do? Betray his mother? Betray Hope? Betray his dad? It's just a no-win situation for the poor guy. I feel like this romantic confrontation is going to explode into a million pieces. And I just don't know if they can come back from this. Electra is too proud, and Will is too loyal to his family to just roll over and apologize for doing what he was told. And let's not forget that Melissa Dillon is just waiting in the wings. She has her own complicated feelings. She's working with RJ. She's trying to find that diamond. It's all just a powder keg waiting to blow. I really think Will and Electra are headed for a massive breakup, and maybe that's for the best. Because right now, they are just making each other miserable. But okay, let's move on to the real crazy part of the episode. Brooke Logan Forrester. Oh my gosh, you guys. Brooke is acting like an absolute banshee right now. She has completely lost her mind. She is officially declaring that her own sister, Katie Logan, is her new enemy. Her #1 enemy, over a fashion line. Let's just take a minute to really picture that scene in Katie's office, because it was wild. The fans on social media are already making memes out of it. Brooke comes storming in. Her eyes are flashing. She is practically vibrating with rage. Katie is sitting there, looking like the cat that ate the canary, completely unbothered. And there is this monitor playing Hope's new promotional song for the Hope by Logan brand. Brooke just loses it. She grabs whatever was closest and just violently smashes the screen. Glass everywhere. The song cuts out. It was so dramatic. But honestly, it fits the show's usual style. Brooke has always been dramatic. But usually, when Brooke and Katie are at each other's throats, it is over a man. Remember all those years they fought over Bill Spencer, or Ridge. They have torn each other apart for decades over guys, but this time, it feels different. This time, they are fighting over Hope. They are fighting over family loyalty and business. And in a way, that makes Brooke's rage even more terrifying because it's not about jealousy, it's about control. Brooke feels like she is losing control of her daughter, and she is lashing out like a wounded animal. Brooke is furious because Katie hired Hope. She feels like Katie stole her daughter. She feels betrayed, but Hope is a grown woman. Hope has every right to work wherever she wants to work. She is a talented designer who is being treated like absolute garbage over at Forrester Creations. Steffy shelved her line. Zende was promoted over her without her input. Hope was basically a prisoner to Steffy's whims. So Hope made a boss move. She signed a secret contract with Katie. She brought Deke Sharp with her, and she launched a massively successful collection. As a mother, Brooke should be proud. Honestly, I am a mother too, and Brooke's reaction is just bizarre. Why is she not celebrating her daughter's massive runway success? Deck's designs were a hit. The fashion world is going crazy for Hope by Logan. Hope is finally free and in control of her own destiny. But no, Brooke is shattered. She is acting delusional. She is making this all about herself and her loyalty to Ridge and Forrester Creations. She told Katie that a line has been crossed and there is no going back. She promised that Katie is going to regret messing with her. Brooke is vowing revenge on her own sister. It is just so toxic and so unnecessary. I mean, the writers always do this. They always make Brooke act so hysterical whenever her vision of the Forrester family is threatened. It's like she forgets she is a Logan herself. And Brooke is running around saying she is going to save Hope. Save her from what, Brooke? Save her from creative autonomy. Save her from a wildly successful launch. Save her from a supportive environment. Brooke wants to drag Hope back to Forrester Creations, which is just the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard. Katie even pointed this out. Katie was so smug, and honestly, she had every right to be. Katie basically laughed in Brooke's face and said, "Go ahead, try to take her back. See what happens, because Katie knows the truth. Steffy Forrester Finnegan would never, ever let Hope back in that building." Steffy is furious. Ridge is furious. Eric is furious. They all view Hope as a massive traitor. They are enraged by the betrayal. Steffy is already plotting aggressive vengeance against the Hope by Logan brand. And look at what happened to Donna. Eric literally escorted Donna out of the building and fired her just because she kept Katie's secret. Eric demanded one-sided loyalty and just walked upstairs in silence, leaving Donna's marriage in ruins. And Zende is absolutely devastated because his promotion to lead designer is ruined now that Hope left. So the idea that Brooke thinks she can just waltz in, save Hope, and bring her back to the Forrester fold is just pure delusion. Brooke is living in a fantasy world where everyone just forgives and forgets. And Katie knows it. Katie and Bill are just sitting back, celebrating their massive victory and preparing for their next move. They hijacked the international press corps. They completely eclipsed Eric Forrester's highly anticipated return to haute couture. They created a PR nightmare for Forrester Creations. It was a ruthless corporate coup, and it worked flawlessly. But my heart does break for Hope just a little bit. Because even though she had this huge professional victory, she is suffering a severe emotional breakdown behind the scenes. She is crushed by the guilt of losing Brooke's support. She had to publicly admit to the press that Brooke was kept in the dark, which basically sent reporters swarming to Brooke's doorstep. Hope is drowning in guilt and having panic attacks. And what about Liam in all of this? Liam is the one who has been pushing Hope to leave Forrester Creations for weeks. A few episodes ago, he was in her ear constantly, telling her that Steffy was never going to respect her, telling her that she needed to take her talents to Logan where she would be appreciated. And he was right, but now that the bomb has dropped, Liam is the one having to pick up the pieces of Hope's shattered mental state. Hope is having a full-blown emotional crisis. She is pacing the floor, crying, hyperventilating because she knows she just broke her mother's heart. And Liam is playing the devoted husband, running interference, trying to calm her down. He keeps telling her that Brooke's maternal love will overcome this. But let's be real, Liam doesn't know that. Liam is just saying whatever he has to say to keep Hope from completely falling apart. He knows that Brooke is vindictive. He knows that Brooke holds a grudge. And he has to be terrified that Brooke is going to blame him for putting this idea in Hope's head in the first place. Which, to be fair, he kind of did. I just don't know what Brooke is planning to do next. How far is she willing to go to punish Katie? Is she going to try to sabotage Logan from the inside? Is she going to team up with Steffy to destroy her own daughter's brand just to prove a point? I wouldn't put it past her at this point. Brooke is acting out of pure, unadulterated emotion, and that makes her dangerous. Who actually believes this is going to end well? Nobody. I've been staring at this screen for way too long today, just replaying these scenes in my head. It's just so much to process. The writers really threw everything at the wall this week, and surprisingly, most of it stuck. We have so many moving parts right now. We have Zen's career in ruins. We have Donna's marriage to Eric hanging by a thread because she kept Katie's secret. We have Steffy out for literal blood, and we have this impending war between Brooke and Katie that is going to scorch the earth. I mean, who is going to come out on top? Katie has the momentum right now, but you can never, ever count Brooke Logan out. When Brooke is backed into a corner, she fights dirty. I wouldn't be surprised if she tries to legally challenge Hope's contract, or if she tries to poach Deke Sharp back to Forrester just to cripple the Logan line. The possibilities are endless, and I am here for all of it, even if it means I don't sleep for the next week. So yeah, that is where we are at, a completely fractured Logan family, a furious Forrester family, and a whole lot of corporate espionage. I am exhausted just talking about it. But I can't wait to see what happens next. What do you guys think? Is Electra overreacting about Will? Is Brooke completely out of line for declaring war on Katie? Let me know in the comments. I need to go lay down and process all this drama. Catch you guys in the next one.